All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's get going on this little long weekend workout here this morning. Guys, remember to go at your own pace. We never go to super advanced poses, although if you're newer, it might feel like it's advanced to you. But guys, remember, you can always take a step back, okay? So just do what you can, all right? All right, go ahead and put your feet together, roll your shoulders. And just whatever was stressing you this week, I just want you to start to breathe, and with every exhale, just let go of the week. Let your arms get involved with the shoulder roll. You made it through the week. Good, take a deep breath up. Exhale, soft fold. So your rib cage goes to your legs, your knees are bent, nice rounded spine here. And take a breath up. From your exhale here, put your hands behind you on your hips. Roll your collarbones open, just press your hips forward. Look up at the sky or the ceiling. And we're going to come right back up. And we're going to soft fold again. And come all the way up. And this time, you're going to lean to your right, leaning mountain. And then we're going to go the other way. Good. Take a breath. Good. As you begin that first hinge, so now we're keeping the back straight, put your hands maybe on your shins or your thighs. The floor is fine, but we're keeping the back straight. Take a breath. Exhale, fold. Drop the top of the head toward the floor, your forehead toward your shins. Good. Now, if that's too intense right now, wherever you're at, back off a little bit. Good, now you're gonna relax your left leg. So I just bent my left leg. I'm gonna leave my left hand on the floor, put my right hand on my right hip, and just a little gentle twist here. Good, and then we're just gonna switch. Nice stretch for the hips and back there. Good, take your time, go back to the first side. Relax your leg, and you're turning toward the straight leg. And one more time. Good, bring both hands to the floor. Good, step back with your right leg. Come up to high lunge. Good, put your right hand on the floor and revolve your lunge. Turn back toward the top of your mat and come back up to high lunge. Now take a big breath and step in. Exhale, hinge and fold. Take your left leg back. High lunge. Don't worry if you lose your balance, it's really normal. And left hand to the floor. Inhale, exhale as you revolve. Ooh. We're popping and cracking here. And come back up to high lunge. Big breath, step in. Exhale, hinge and fold. Let's do it one more time on each side. Right leg back and high lunge. Inhale, right hand down. Exhale, revolve. Beautiful, guys. Inhale as you turn. Exhale, back up to high lunge. Inhale, step in. Exhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. Step back with your left. High lunge. And left hand down, revolve. Inhale as you look at the floor. Exhale, high lunge. Inhale as you step in. Exhale, hinge and fold. Good, walk back to downward dog. Good, take a moment here. You can pedal your legs. Think about pushing your fingertips into the floor. Let your hips rise as your heels drop and roll your shoulders out of your ears. Good, come forward into plank. Inhale, lower down and then sweep the body up into up dog. Now lower this with your legs, keeping those a little heavier, or if you want, you can even bend the elbows, or you can come all the way up into that up dog with everything off the floor except the tops of your feet and your hands. Good, sit back to tabletop. Good, lift into a cat stretch. Breathe into the back body here, separating your rib cage. Now, everything sinks into cow. Ah. Find your neutral spine. Good. Now, we're going to do extended table on either side for our warm-up sequence here. And I want you to think about not shifting side to side. So lift your left arm and your right leg. And then as you inhale, set it down and try not to shift. And then left arm, or right arm and left leg. And then down. Exhale as you extend. Inhale as you drop. Exhale as you extend. Inhale as you drop. Exhale as you extend. So use your core, pressure in the floor to keep yourself from shifting. One more on each side. Good. Take your knees toward the sides of your mat, big toes towards each other, and sit those heels back, or your hips back to your heels, and enjoy a child's pose here. Good, bring yourself up to your tabletop. And let's thread the needle, extend your left arm, drop your right shoulder to the floor. If you can't get your shoulder to the floor, just go to your elbow. If you need to, walk your knees a little bit wider. And exhale, bring yourself up, and we'll just switch sides here. And bring yourself up. Roll up onto your shins. Good. Now, we're going to work toward half camel. I don't want you to push it too far. This time we'll come back to this. So bring your hands to prayer. Good. And take a breath up. And now just put your left hand behind you and put your right hand on your hip. So you're twisting to your left. Just push your hips forward here. Just a gentle twist here. Good, and just sweep the arms up and we'll go the other way. Good, and bring your hands to the mat, tuck your feet, walk up to downward dog, and walk or jump all the way in. Give your legs a little pedal there. Bend your knees, lift your gaze, and unhinge. Good job. All right, take a breath. Bring your hands into heart center. Good. Now find your balance in your left foot. Take your right leg and bring it up to tree. So you can just set your toe on the ground with your heel into your shin. You can bring your foot up to your shin. You can even bring it higher, but please don't put your foot on your knee. All right, that creates outward tension on the knee, and it's not something that we want to do. Yep. And if you fall over, it is okay. Good, find something to focus on, probably not me. Want something that's not moving. Don't look at yourself in the camera either, because, you know, you're moving also. Good, now let's grow this tree if you can. Remember guys, if you need to set the foot down, modify here, you can. Good, now open this up. Now really take your time. You've got your right knee up. I want to see if you can turn and look at your left hand. Slowly bring it back to the center. Very good. Take a breath, take your right leg and step back. That's the one that was up. Nice high lunge. Good. Bring your hands behind you. Open up here. Good. Now, if it messes with your balance, to look at the ceiling, keep your gaze looking down, your cheeks looking forward, but you can still lean backward. Good. Now, let your shoulders come right over your hips. Inhale again, and let's twist again. So now you're twisting to your left. Good. Now, if you've got a nice flexible hip there, if you want to drop your back knee a little more, you can. Big spiral here. We're going to spiral, turn your back foot to the floor, and then we open up into Warrior Two. Good. So in this Warrior Two, your front heel is in line with your back arch of the foot or heel. All right, so imagine sliding between two panes of glass. Drop the shoulders down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, but lengthen all of this out through the fingertips. You want to make sure that you're taking this knee that's in the front, not past this toe. And you also want to push it toward the pinky toe. So we're lining up that knee right over the foot, right over the ankle. Feel like you're pushing in with your right hip. Put your left arm onto your left leg. Push your hip down first. Now reach beyond, point to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Try to look up past your bicep. This is extended angle. Think about pushing the pinky toe, the blade of your right foot to the ground. Good, now try to keep as deep as you are and come all the way up. Bring that left hand to the ceiling and the right arm to the outside of your right leg. Should be really feeling your leg. Good, now straighten. This is reverse triangle. We are not done yet. Take a breath. Bend that left knee again and go back to extended angle. Now I'm going to take my top hand and just circle it around. Catch my hip. Lift the hip to the ceiling. Straighten your legs and open up into triangle. Make sure to keep that bottom hand light, whether it's on a block or your shin or the floor. It's the weight of your body should be in your legs. Good. Turn toward the top of your mat. Step back to downward dog. Use this as a recovery. 2 more big breaths. And now we're going to inhale all the way forward into plank and chaturanga to up dog. Good. Now, we'll work our arms, our backs just a little bit. You're going to inhale down. Try to pull your elbows in towards each other so that your elbows stay right by your side. Lift your belly beneath you. Exhale out into a bow. And now inhale and push yourself back up. So kind of in a cobra here. Our legs are on the floor. Inhale down. Exhale and bow. Inhale, set. Exhale and push. Good. Inhale down. Exhale and reach. Inhale in. Exhale and lift. One more. Inhale down. Exhale out. Inhale down. Exhale up. Very good. Bring yourself to tabletop. And right up into a cat stretch. Feel your back move in the opposite direction that we were just working in. Down into cow. Good, and from here, roll up onto your shins. Now, if you need to widen out your knees, you can. Bring your hands to heart center. Good, inhale up. Now, turn your ribs to your left, and then push your hips forward. Now, you might stop with your hand on your leg or even your hip, or you might go all the way back to your foot. Please do not just hang out here in space, okay? What we want is to release the body. And if I'm having to hang on because my hand's hovering, I'm not releasing. So base into something and just relax. Breathe as your body just sort of falls open here. This is revolved, half camel. Soften your hips first. So take your hips towards your heels. Then come up through the center. Good, now this side might be different, so don't just go right to it. Turn to your right first, and then push your hip forward, and base onto something wherever you need. Big stretch in the front of your legs, relax. Good, and soften the hips first as you come around. Bring your hands to the floor. Tuck your feet and lift to downward dog. Good, jump or walk into the top of your mat. Take a breath, lift it to a spinal extension. So that just means I'm lifting the ribs off of my hips, getting long. Hands can be on the floor, feet, shins, even way up here on the thighs. Think about lifting the ribs off of the hips and dropping them farther down your legs. Fold. Big exhale. Relax into this. Bend your knees, lift your gaze, press to the ceiling, inhale up, and exhale to your heart. Take a big breath here. Let it out like a sigh. Good job. All right, find your balance in your right leg, and you're gonna lift your left leg into your tree. Now, it's completely normal to be more balanced on one side than another. So don't think about where you were or where you're gonna be. Just be in the now, okay? Just enjoy the present moment. Now we're gonna grow that tree. Keep your breath moving. Open to the side. Now very slowly, your left leg is lifted, so try to look at your right hand. Now bring your gaze back in with your hands. And we step back, left leg. Inhale, high lunge. Take a big breath here. And we're going to exhale, turn to your right. And then if you have a flexible hip here, if you want to drop that back knee a little more, you can. You don't have to. Keep your shoulders over your hips though. And a big spiral. Let that back heel drop. Line up the feet. Going through 2 panes of glass here, warrior 2. Good, breathe, extend out through the fingertips. Beautiful, guys. And we're going to take the right arm, bend it onto that right leg. But before you do anything, make sure you push this hip down. Right, so we don't want to do this. Push it down. Reach over there where the ceiling and the wall meet. Pay attention to your left leg right now. That's the one behind you. Make sure you're driving that pinky toe to the floor. Now leave your hips right where they are. Leave your leg right where it is and come all the way up to reverse warrior. Woo, you should feel your legs. Straighten your legs here. Stay up here in reverse triangle. You're welcome. Take a breath. Go back to your extended warrior. So if you want a little more, you can reach for the floor here, but notice my hip is still down. I'm not doing this. You can also just stay up here. Now begin to circle around with that left hand. Catch up to the left hip. Open up into your triangle. Big back opener here. Breathe into that sensation. And turn toward the top of your mat. Step back to downward dog. Good, and come to your plank. Chaturanga to up dog. Good, all right, let's do that bow again. So inhale down, lift that belly off the floor and reach out. So try to make sure you're not lifting your body up by pushing your belly down. Yeah, you want to use your back muscles, your core. Inhale down, exhale out, inhale in, exhale up. You have one more. Inhale down, exhale out, inhale in, and exhale up. Push back to tabletop. And enjoy a cat stretch here. Let that sink into calf. And roll up onto your shins. All right, widen out the knees if you need to. So we're going to progress from revolved half camel into half camel. At any point that does not feel right for you, you need to stop at the level where you need to, right? Remember, our first level was here, then we went to here. Now we're going to open this up, okay? So you stop where you need to. Take your hands to prayer. Inhale up. Good. First revolve. Yep, let the hips come forward. Breathe here. We're going to go 3 breaths. So right now your sternum should be kind of off at an angle. Begin to slowly press your left hip forward and see if you can get your sternum to the ceiling. Press your shoulders down, squeeze your glutes. Now revolve again. Soften your hips. Good, always protecting the spine. Good, and let's try the other way. Inhale. Turn. Your variation of half camel first. Take 3 breaths. You can stay there or try to open up to the ceiling. Push that right hip forward. Good, and turn again. Then soften the hips. Ooh, good job. Hands to the floor. Tuck your feet. Lift to downward dog. Use this as your recovery. Roll the shoulders. Push the heels down. Good. Let your gaze come forward and jump or step into the top of your mat. Good. Hands go wherever you'd like. Lift to spinal extension. Take a deep breath. Exhale and fold. Good. Lift your gaze and unhinge. Well done. All right, let's move on. Take a breath. Bring the hands to prayer. Good. You're going to get your balance in your left leg again. But this time, instead of your foot going to the side, I want you to lift it up. Now, if this is not an option for you, just set your toes down on the opposite side of your leg. Notice my hips are still open here, so I'm not this way. I'm this way. And then we're going to sit into that. So this is a single leg chair. Good. Spine is tall. Pull in that space between your ribs and your hips tight. Good. Now, open your heart. Flatten your back. So imagine someone is going to put a drink right between your shoulder blades. Set that foot down if you need to. Now, if you'd like to continue to the fold here, you can. Just left my foot where it is and reach for the floor. Or if you want to put your foot down here to fold, you can do that too. Good. Now, your leg that's crossed, that's your right one. Bring it around behind you and pull your hips back. So this is a split leg fold. You can stay right here. We're going to go up into standing split with leg grab, but it's purely an option. You can stay right here. If you want to do the leg grab, I'm going to shift my weight back into my left leg, my right hand, grab your foot, left hand, right foot, and try to point your knee to the ceiling. Nice, good shepherd, that's it. Beautiful, Hodge family. Holding that split leg fold is absolutely fine. Nice, guys. Keep your breathing. Now let go of your right leg and step all the way back with it. Very good. Sink into your hips. Drop your knees. So now we're in a kneeling lunge. Go ahead and sit up high here. Good. Now for balance, take your front knee and just a little bit wider. And what you're going to find is you can sort of relax forward into your hips. Good. Now we're going to progress in levels here. It is not a competition, all right? But we're all at different places. So you just go where you can, all right? Sometimes it's not because you're not good at yoga. Sometimes it's just because of the way your body's built. So we're going to start with a rotation. Put your right hand on the floor, left hand on your knee, press your hips forward and just turn there. And that may be where you stay. The next level is to reach behind you and just increase that twist a little bit. So I've got my left hand over on my right hip, pulling my shoulder open. And then you can also, if you want to, reach for that heel and pull in here. Big, big quad stretch. Good, release your foot and just slide like someone is grabbing your hips. Slide back. Ah. Now we're going to come forward again one more time, but this time instead of turning toward our front leg, you're going to turn away from your front leg. Set your hand on the inside. You can keep it on the outside if you want to. And just turn. Counter revolving. Focus more on the opening of your hips rather than the where your arm is. Good. Release that down. Take that big step back to downward dog. Good. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart here. Good. Now, we're going to do downward dog with angled reach. So just listen to me. You're going to take your right hand, and our goal is to put it on the left ankle. But listen, start by pushing your hips up, turn your ribs toward the left. So look underneath your left arm. Then I try to reach. If you can reach, great. If you can't reach and your hand just goes to the floor, that's okay. Be strong through that standing arm. Good. Reset your downward dog. Just a little pedal in your legs here. And then we'll set up the other side. Turn to your right first, then reach. Try to keep your heels flat on the floor. Good, and reset that. Bring your knees to the floor. Good, now I want you to take your legs out wide. We're going to do a wide child's pose. So get your knees as wide as they'll go. You might even be off of your mat. Keep your hips kissed in there, tucked into your heels, and try to drop your heart forward. Take some time here as you breathe to feel the rib cage expand all the way down between that space between your belly button and your spine, and also between the ribs and the hips there on the side of your body. Feel your breath go there. Good. Just slowly with your own breath, begin to bring yourself out. And just go to a downward dog, or you can even do a soft downward dog so your knees are bent. Good, now listen. Step in with your left foot wide. Step in with your right foot wide, and then try to sink your hips. Good, so this is bound pose. Now, if your heels are coming up, that's okay. Just keep your hands on the floor and use your forearms to open up your legs. If you can get your heels down, then you can lift. And of course, if it bothers your knees, also keep your weight forward. This is sort of like a standing wide-legged child's pose. Good. Put your hands on the floor, lift your hips. Walk your feet in. Take a deep breath into standing extension. Good. And we're going to fold. And if you would like to, cross your hands, fist over elbows. And just let your forehead rest there and just hang. Good. Bring the hands down, lift your gaze, and unhinge. Good job. We got one more time around the block, guys. Good. Get your balance into your right leg. And we're gonna find that seated chair. Again, you may be more balanced on one side than another. Maybe you just want to cross, or you can lift and sink. Balance is a learned ability. We use it or we lose it as we get older. So the good news is every time you're wobbling and you're practicing yoga or your martial arts or whatever it is that you're doing, you are actually training your brain to balance. And that's a good thing. If you're thinking wobbling makes me smarter, I must be a genius. It could happen. Flatten your back. Continue to the fold if you want to. So I'm just going to reach for the floor. If that's not comfortable, just set your foot down and fold here. Good. Now, take your foot that's in front. That's your left one. Set it halfway back and slide your hips back. And we're in our split leg fold here. Now, remember, this is purely optional. You can stay here. You also don't have to do what you did on the other side. So if you did the standing split with leg grab and this time you don't want to, that is okay. With your right hand, reach for your left leg. Left foot, try to hit your knee to the ceiling. Forehead stays going toward the shin. Try to focus on the back of your mat. Good. Let that foot go. Step all the way back. Drop your knee. Good. Widen out your front leg for balance just a little bit. Just sort of relax your body forward here. Ah. Good. Now, again, we're progressing through levels here. It's not a competition. Put your left hand on the floor, right hand on your knee, and just gently turn here. This may be where you stay, or if you'd like to add the wraps, get a little bit deeper, you can. And then if you want to add the back knee, pull that knee in, or pull your foot in and grab your foot. Keep your heart open toward the side wall. Good. Turn back around. Enjoy this release. Just slide back into your hips. Good. Come back forward. Leave your right hand on the floor. Push your hips forward and just enjoy this counter revolve. You put your hand on your hip. Open up if you want. Really focus on the hips and not so much where the shoulders are going. Beautiful job. Good, come back, step back to downward dog. Good, now, just listen to me, you don't have to look up. Before we did downward dog with angled reach. Now we're going to do twisted down dog. So this involves the legs. So before we kind of twisted the upper body, now we're going to twist the lower body. So just listen to me. Take your left leg and lift it to three-leg dog. Now, I'm going to keep my leg flexed, and I'm going to drop it underneath me and push it out to 3 o'clock. So I'm on the blade of my foot. You want to keep your hips pressing back. Try to keep your shoulders squared to your mat. Right. Really squeeze through your legs. Try to get that leg all the way like a clock to 3 o'clock. That's it. Twisted down dog. Good. Bring your leg back to downward dog. Find a breath and lift your right leg. Take your leg underneath you to 9 o'clock. Push your hips back. Square the shoulders off. Try to keep your hips pushing up and back. And reset. Good. Drop your knees. And roll up here. So one more camel. We're going to try full camel. So we have done level 1 revolve, level 2 revolve, open to half. Now we try full. Now, if you want to go back to one of those first poses, again, do that. Start with your hands on your hips and push your hips forward. Good. This is where you can stay. If you want more, grab those heels, but it's not so much about leaning back. It's about pushing your body forward. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Soften your hips first. Good, and while we're here, let's do that wide child's pose one more time. So open out your knees. Good. Now, what we tend to do is come forward with the hips. Try to keep your hips pushing back and drop your heart to the floor. Good, just on your own. Walk your body in. And we'll go back to our downward dog. Walk or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale into a spinal extension. Exhale, hand over fist if you want, or fist over elbow if you want. Just hang. Just take a little assessment here. What is still tense? Just release whatever needs to be released. Let your rib cage melt down the front of your legs. Good. Place your hands on the floor or your shins. Lift your gaze and unhinge. Give yourself some big shoulder rolls. I know some of those were new poses for you today. Don't worry if you struggled a little bit. That's okay. We grow when we struggle, right? Inhale up. Last time, guys, dive to the floor. Good. We're going to bring ourselves to seated today. And put your feet together. So we had a little theme of spinal twists today, spirals. if you didn't notice. So I want you to just keep your hips on the floor, but just rock side to side. So I'm not doing this. I'm keeping my hips on the floor. I'm just thinking about dropping my shoulders from side to side. Just gently letting your lower back go. Holding on to your feet is going to help you drop your shoulders away from your ears. If you'd like to drop your head here, you can. And just slowly fold forward if you'd like to. You can also continue to rock. Good, and come up. Feet to your mat. Just roll all the way back. And we're going to drop our knees to the left and look to the right. Inhale through the center. Drop your knees to the right. Look to the left. And now bring your knees center. Extend your left leg up. Cross your right leg over. So just like that single leg stand, only we don't have to balance now. Pull your knee of that left leg towards your face. Let your right knee open. Good. Release that. Extend your right leg. Cross your left. And now pull your right knee towards your face. Open up your left knee. And release. Take your knees, or your feet rather, maybe just outside of your mat. And I just want you to keep your feet on the floor, but just drop your knees like a windshield wiper. You should feel that in your hip flexor. And we'll slowly switch. Let that top hip kind of push forward. Good. Stretch your legs out big. They can stay wide. Take your arms out big like you're doing a jumping jack on a floor. And just stretch everything. Let it go. Take another big breath. And let it go. Good. Now, if you'd like to change positions for Shavasana, for rest, you can. If you want to bend your knees, bring your knees together, feet on the floor. Great for lower back tension there. You can even just roll to one side. Just really honor what you're feeling here. Close your eyes. Give yourselves this 5 minutes. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself today. Listen to your breathing. Feel your breath going all the way to your belly. Fill that space in your body between your belly button and your spine. Welcome the softness in your jaw. You are welcome to stay reclining. If not, begin to feel your body in contact with the floor. Bring some movement to your fingers and toes. See if you can find a yawn. Just open up your jaw. Oh, and let that air out. When you're ready, draw your knees to your heart and roll to one side. And then you can join me seated. Again, if you'd rather stay reclining, I'm not going to be offended. Good, and just let your head drop side to side. And then down. Good, bring your hands to heart center, lift your sternum into your thumbs. Inhale up, big, big sigh as you push the room away. Good, roll your shoulders here. Inhale on the way up. Exhale on the way down. And one more breath up. Hands come center. God bless you guys. Namaste. Well done. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll be around for another couple minutes. If there was a pose that was new to you and you need a modification or something like that, that's what I'm here for. I appreciate each one of you guys. You mean the world to me. Thank you for being here today. Have a great one.
Happy Easter, Callie.
Happy Easter.
See ya.